Hey folks, Dr. Beyer of Functional Medicine Solutions, and this video is about adrenal dysfunction. Most everyone who is even just the least little bit interested in or involved in functional medicine or natural therapies or has investigated on their own, different causes of different chronic health problems, is familiar with adrenal glands. The adrenal glands and them dysfunctioning is a part of most everybody's chronic health problem. The adrenal glands sit on top of our kidneys, which is why they're sometimes called the suprarenal glands, renal meaning kidney, and they perform a lot of different functions. And I'm not going to get into, the myriad of different things that they help control and regulate, but what I wanted to get across in this video is that adrenal dysfunction is not a one-size-fits-all. There's different ways that the adrenal glands can be dysfunctioning, and you'll get the best results in trying to improve their function if you can pinpoint more specifically how they're dysfunctioning. And what I've experienced over the years is that there's basically three main ways in which the adrenal glands could be not working right. One way that they can be dysfunctioning is that they're just overactive, which tends to be happening more early on in a chronic health issue. Okay, so the adrenal glands in that situation they're still working. They're just being called upon excessively because of excessive stress, whether it be mental, emotional, psychological stress, chemical stress, physical stress from poor diets, things like that. They're being called upon a lot, and they're overproducing certain hormones. One of them being cortisol, because that's the way we can determine specifically if the adrenal glands are overactive is by elevated cortisol levels on a salivary hormone test. There's some things on the initial blood chemistry tests that we do with patients which gives us an indication whether or not the adrenal glands are dysfunctioning, including in a hyperactive mode, such as sodium, potassium, and lactic dehydrogenase levels. But when we see that, we want to pinpoint exactly how the adrenal glands are dysfunctioning with that specialized or specific lab test called a salivary hormone test. And if they're overactive, instead of seeing the cortisol levels as they should be, which are high in the morning, low at night, we have patients take 4 saliva samples at different points of the day because the cortisol should gradually drop. And in an overactive adrenal state, the cortisol levels will consistently be high through the day. And we treat that in one type of way, which is different than we treat the second main pattern we see, which is adrenal fatigue, where the cortisol levels would be just consistently low. Instead of being high in the morning and gradually dropping through the day, they're just, through the course of the day, really, really low because the adrenal glands have been overactive for too long. They can't put up with the stress, or they can only put up with the stress for the load that's placed upon them for a certain number of years, and after a period of time they just start to not be able to produce hormones like they should. And so we'll see consistently low cortisol levels on the salivary hormone test that we measure. And that's treated totally different than if we have a hyperactive adrenal situation. And the third type of adrenal dysfunction is where we see an abnormal rhythm of the cortisol. The cortisol levels, again, should be really high in the morning and gradually go lower through the day. That's the normal circadian rhythm to cortisol secretion from the adrenal glands. And a third type of dysfunction that we see is where the circadian rhythm is disrupted. So the cortisol levels are high and low and high and low, and it's just really kind of wacky. And that's a different type of adrenal dysfunction that is treated a different way than the first two ways. So adrenal dysfunction is people are familiar with that, they've heard of that, but I've found that a lot of people don't realize that you can't treat it as a one-size-fits-all, or if you try to, you won't get near as good of results as you would if you pinpoint exactly what type of dysfunction that you have, because they're treated differently. So hope that helps. We have more information on my website, functionalmedicinesolutions.net, and as always, we offer free 15-minute video cam or phone consultations with myself. We call it the Ask Dr. Beyer session, where you can ask me a specific question or two, because my goal is to really help as many people as I can. I have found too many people just suffer for too long, so if you want to take us up on that on our website, you can just click on the Ask Dr. Beyer session, fill in the information, and we'll set up a 15-minute consultation with you.